Elena was with me at the beginning. Self-Enterpriser actually started out as a mastermind program, and we did a beta mastermind group.
Insert logo here.
And I could never figure out why somebody so already successful and going her direction would just say, yeah, I'll come in, I'll support you. And so I appreciate that, and it's good to see you again.
And you, I always enjoy hanging out with you.
Well, good, thank you. So we're going to post your link to the TED Talk when we publish this video.
Awesome.
So it should be in the description above or in the one of the first couple of comments below, depending how we set all that up. But it'll be here, so look for it. But yeah. Tell us how to find it again here on audio and video.
So you can find it on my website, entreprincess.com. I have a whole section about my TED Talk, so it's hard to miss because it's on my homepage. And as well, if you wanted to look on YouTube, you just have to type The Gentle Power of Highly Sensitive People, and you'll find it right away.
Okay, and you mentioned your homepage. It's entreprincess.com.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question here about how to become a VA. This is our main challenge today. How can someone start from wherever they're at? Let's say they have no skills or few skills. Obviously, they've had enough of a skill to be able to type out that question, how do I become a VA? But let me type that into our chat here, and that will be our main challenge question. Now, this is not what I do for a living. It's not what you do for a living. And the reason we're doing this, if you're wondering, watching this saying, well, why would they bring up that question? I think a lot of times, Elena, and you've been in other businesses before this one, I think we make it more difficult than it needs to be. I think we cripple ourselves with those fears that we just talked about. Oh, I don't have the answers, so we don't look for the answers, or we spend so much time looking for the answers that we never take action. I think a lot of the answers can come from within inside of us. I think that's what the ListRiff is all about, looking inside and saying, okay, let me just come up with 10 ideas. I don't care if they're bad ideas or silly sounding ideas. And then, yeah, look inside, see what we have, and then we can reach out to our peers. And most people are very willing, or a lot of people, I don't know about most people, but a lot of people, if you put yourself out there, again, visibility issues, but put yourself out there and say, hey, how do I get a business license? How do I become a virtual assistant? How do you fill the gaps? People will give you what's worked for them, or they'll sit down with you and they'll ListRiff with you, which is always good. So that's our question: 10 ways a person can become a virtual assistant.
Got it. Let's go for it.
Now, I'm cheating a little bit because I've actually been a virtual assistant. I didn't even think about that until just now. I'm like, oh, I've actually done that for years, but all right. That's the question. We got to answer it.
Okay. Off we go.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll start with number 2. Identify your core strengths. Let me look at mine because maybe they're similar. Do you fill in? Oh,
I chose ones that are not similar to yours. So
oh, okay.
Don't have any overlap.
Great. I was hoping you'd pick my number 10. I like that one. Number 2, identify your core strengths and skills and your target market so you can create your niche market. I think that's similar to my number 1. Which is start with one skill, one client, low rate while you learn the other stuff that they particularly need. So let's talk about that. How do you think that will help somebody in this situation?
Well, I think if you're starting a business, you need to start with yourself because you're the service provider in this case. So you need to know what are you exceptionally good at, and then figure out who can need that exceptional skill in the marketplace, because you need to go with something that there's a demand for that. So you try and match what you can do with where you have identified a demand. And that's your basic business model, supply and demand.
So let's identify real quick what could these core strengths and skills look like. I think it could be email management. let me go through, get rid of the stuff that's wasting your time. Matter of fact, I'll unsubscribe to anything that, doesn't fit these parameters.
Scheduling. Or organizing someone's travel plan, being their kind of personal assistant and organizing their whole life.
Right.
That can help, or people that are very technical that can go into very complex marketing and sales funnels, and they can set up all these funnels. There are many different things that entrepreneurs at different stages of the game they might need, or you can do photo editing or basic design, anything like that.
Cool. And even if you don't have any of those strengths, start practicing. I think a lot of times when I hear this question, it's like, I want to be a VA. I want to make a lot of money in the first month so that I can travel the world with just me and my laptop. I don't know of anything that really works like that, that's legal.
No, and I think it's actually a dangerous dream to sell, because it sets people up for a massive disappointment. And I think already it's not easy to break into any new business and make yourself known. So if you have unrealistically high expectations for how well you will do, you will get quickly discouraged, and maybe you will abandon something that would go great for you if you just kept going.
Right. I think it's okay to, I don't think a person necessarily needs to so-called pay their dues, but they kind of need to pay their dues. I mean, there's just kind of a balance there as far as, if you're already great at something, then focus on that. But if you're not, then you do need to take the time to get those skills down.
I think it's a question of also what level are you coming in at. So if you're an expert at something, and you've been an expert, say, in your previous career, you were employed by, say, a company like Infusionsoft. So you're a super, super expert. And now you just decide to become a VA for Infusionsoft. Then You're not a newbie. You can command high prices from the get-go because you have a super specialized expertise. But if you have never maybe worked before, or had your own business, or have something that's very highly sought after, then you just start a little bit lower on that ladder. But that's not worse in any way. It's just you offer what you can actually deliver. So I would never say just don't try and overpromise something that you're not comfortable delivering, because that just puts you under stress and won't help you build a good reputation. So just stick to what you know when you start out, and then add on your skills as you go along, I would say. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think what else can you do? That's what you work, you start where you're at and you go forward from there.
And don't feel bad about starting where you're at. There's no shame in starting where you're at. We're all started somewhere.
Well, I'll tell you, we did the VA thing, and my wife and I started doing some VA work when we moved to a remote location, and there was really no opportunities that we found working for other people. And so I started poking around online, and somebody hired my wife. Somebody that I knew hired my wife. We're still in touch with her today. A lot of our, anyway, I won't ramble on, but I'll try not to ramble on. No promises. Okay. But she started like that. She started with one skill, and my wife's name is Renee. Hey, Renee, can you learn this so that you can take this over for me? And she wasn't getting paid very much, although not very much was still more than the local businesses in the area were paying. So, it worked out for everyone. There's a learning curve. If you can find somebody with a great work ethic, then the skills can be learned or taught. And so I think that's really important. Okay, so you had one for me.
Yes. So I had do a fantastic job and ask for referrals. That was the first one I had for you. And I think that is super important. And it comes down to offering what you can actually deliver on. That's kind of where the circle closes itself again, is if you offered something you actually really know how to do, then most likely you'll have a super satisfied client. And if you have a super satisfied client, you can then ask for a referral, and they will quite comfortably recommend you. And when you're starting out, referral business is really important because you don't get a warmer lead than a referral.
Right.
So this is super, super important.
And when you're doing a great job, that the person you're working with, they want to support you. You know, they want you, last thing they want is, oh, they're doing a great job, but they're not making enough from my business to feed their family. And I don't know if this is the thought process or not, but it makes sense that if they don't get some more business, they're going to go off and do something else. And
that can come into it. And I would also say
they want to support you.
Incentivize your clients to support you. So you go beyond just their good nature and wanting to help you. Is say, if you refer me to someone, you get 1 free hour or 2 free hours or something, because it just gives that person, they're most likely very busy. That's why they hired a VA. It gives them an extra little incentive to help you.
Sure. All right. Number, let's see, 2 and 4. I don't even have to look because those are my numbers. Ask. Make sure I'm on the right one here. Ask more established VAs if you can support them with your expertise. I like this a lot because a lot of times VAs, if they're good, they don't have, and when I say good, again, they show up. They do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it or before. And those types of VAs get referred, and those types of VAs don't typically get fired. So they're busy, and they don't really know how to expand unless they go into a management type. My wife got to a point in her business where the only way she could expand was if she went and managed other VAs. Now, she didn't really want to do that because it's a different business. But she did have some people that would come in and help her. Yeah. And now they're not helping her anymore, but I'm thinking of at least one that is still in the VA field and just doing her own thing. And so definitely get in there and see who needs help, which kind of goes along with my number 10, which you're about to read, I think.
I am. So what you had as number 10 is be a fill-in when others drop the ball. Let people know you can do rush jobs to get people out of a situation on Facebook promo days. So I think this is really great because most, I would say, more established VAs, they can't do rush jobs because they already totally have booked out calendars. So this is your moment to shine. You can get in there and say, I'm your knight in shining armor. I can fix this for you in 24 hours, 48 hours, of course, in the area of your expertise. And people will love you for getting them out of a sticky situation. And you can show your skills and maybe develop that into a long-term partnership.
And I've actually done this. Now, this was usually through my wife, who was in that field, and somebody would come to her saying, hey, can you get this done? And she, being the awesome person she is, had her calendar filled, couldn't do it, but said, you know what, let me ask my husband. And I picked up some clients that way. And now, sometimes you have rush jobs because you're working, and this is kind of a caveat. Sometimes the reason that you pick up a rush job is because the person who's hiring you is giving people to their VAs at the last minute, or they're making kind of ridiculous demands and they're hard to work with. So it's not really on our list. It's kind of off the subject, but a little caveat to say, hey, if somebody's hard to work with, there's plenty of people that are easy to work with.
Oh, yeah.
Find that right match. So
I agree.
All right. Did we cover everything?
I think so.
Number 2 and 4. And you did 2 and 10, or 4 and 10. Yeah. We should call that a show.
I think we can.
Oh, also, you're inside our community. So if you want to continue this conversation, if you want to add your ideas to our ideas, or see what the other 16 ideas were for how to be a VA, they're all right here at the, that'll be on the Self-Enterprise for Facebook page. Elena, thanks again. We'll see you in the community, and we'll see you on the next ListRiff challenge.
I can't can't wait. You take care, and thanks for everybody who was hanging out with us.